Hi everyone, welcome back to C Sharp Corner Live Show. My name is Stephen Simon, your host, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic that is careers. On C Sharp Corner Live Show, we have episodes like Ask Me Anything, where we invite IT professionals and answer all your tech-related questions. We also have shows that is like Coffee with Pros, where we do a little chit chat with the developers. We have been doing virtual conferences, and we have also been doing the C Sharp Corner MVP show. But today we have an amazing new show with the very first episode coming that is about the careers. This show is related to anything that is happening around in the field of recruitment, hiring, careers that should help you upgrade yourself in your career. And in the very first episode of the careers, we have the team of MCN Solutions joining us today, who will talk about the challenges that one is facing during this pandemic and a couple of very interesting topics and highlights they're going to bring in this live show. So let's just bring our guests of the show, Praveen and Bhaskar. Hi,
Hi,
everyone. Welcome to the
hi,
live show.
hi, Simon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. So, where are you both
Hello,
joining us
Simon.
from today?
I'm joining from Kerala, the southernmost part of India.
And Bhaskar?
I'm joining from Noida.
Well, and I'm joining from Delhi, right? So I think
Hmm.
there was a time when we all three were there at office, and now we all are at our homes, right? Using this virtual platform to connect. So this is kind of really, I think it comes out in a blessing in disguise that we have found ourselves on one or the other way to connect. So before we quickly go ahead and get started and talk about the job changes and all that in the episode, I would like to go ahead and request, starting from Praveen, to give a quick introduction about who you are, what you do, and then we'll move to Bhaskar.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Hi, Simon. Hi, everybody. I am Praveen Kumar. I have been in the industry since 1997. I have done my MCA from Jabalpur University in 1997. I have done MCA. Before that, I have done bachelor's in mathematics. And in 2003, I joined MCN Solutions as a software developer. And from past 3 years, I am the CEO of MCN Solutions, managing MCN Solutions uh, as a CEO. And that's it.
That's great. So I think MCN Solution is a company that people really know a lot about their clients. One of their is C Sharp Corner. We're going to talk about it later on, right? So that's a quick introduction by Praveen. So Bhaskar, you can go ahead and talk about yourself.
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Bhaskar, and I'm in this industry since last 17 years. And fortunately, I'm from the same college where from Praveen is, right? So he's several batch ahead to me. So he's my senior, in fact. And I'm little happy to introduce myself today again. It introduces me, and it reminds me when I was in MCA, and I used to give my intro to my seniors. So it's kind of, you say from your background and what you did, what is your liking, unliking, and everything. But nevertheless, I will be crisp and quick in this case. So I'm in this industry since last 17 years, and you would amazed to know that my very first company was MCN Solutions, and I was there, and I was doing very good job over there, and then I moved ahead, right? And I I worked in different organizations, and recently I came back to MCN Solutions. I actually really liked it, the first love, right? So I joined. I joined as a senior consultant here. So primary role, what I'm doing here is um, looking into the projects, the client dealings, and the team management and everything. Since we have a very limited team, it's very good to be manage them, and to be interacted with. That's it.
Well, definitely, as you both talk about your graduation year, and which is very close to even my birth year. I'm not going to tell about when did I graduate because that would be something not something interested. But yeah, so we have very couple of seniors joining us today. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Going forward, let me ask, starting from Praveen now, is that now we have almost spent good time during this pandemic, and a lot has changed, right? We have started doing work from home. Now there's also unlock coming down. How has your work personally as a CEO affected this work from home, and how have you managed in all this time?
Frankly speaking, it is tough to work in this pandemic. The main problem is this is the to keep up with their health, mental pressure, and all that thing. Frankly speaking, the biggest problem is the growing tummy to keep fit, and nothing as usual. It's a daily job. We used to work daily, uh, managing all the things. It's tough. Main thing about every organization is the communication between the employees. And when communication is smooth, then everything goes smooth. And whether we work remotely or in office, if there is a communication between the employees, whether the productivity is coming from the employees, everything we have to look after. So if uh, everything is going fine, we started initially when the pandemic started in March. Since then, we are working from home. So every employee is working from home, whether it is a development team and some staff which are official staff like the operations staff. They are joining. They have joined the office, but uh, I keep communicating with the employees. Last week also, I had a discussion with the group of employees, and I asked about them, their mental pressure, work from home, how it is going. So the communication is the main thing which I keep doing with my employees, and the work doesn't get affected due to this.
That's a very good point, Praveen, that you raised. Definitely, it's about the tummies bulging out, and we need to manage the mental pressure. That's well said. But yeah, communication is something that is really important during this time. You cannot go to office, you cannot interact with your employee directly, so you have to find a way so that you communicate with them and make sure things are falling at place and the timeline is followed. For whatever the task has been assigned. Coming to Bhaskar, how have you managed? You live very close to office, and I know that you have started visiting office now. How has your life changed, and how do you work these days?
So, what I do nowadays, I'll just go back to last 3 or 4 months back, right? So when that pandemic started, so everybody was kind of panic about situation, and it was a situation where if you live, then you can work. If you live, then you can go and do something else. But the first job is to make yourself safe and happy, right? And that was the toughest the part of this life, this pandemic, in fact, I would say. So and it really actually affected by your surroundings, right? So if you meet 10 people and all 10 people are keep on saying like I'm frustrated, I'm doing nothing from sitting at idle at home, right? So you will also keep on thinking on this. So the biggest challenge was the self motivation that time. Initial 15-20 days was like what I am doing, what where I am, right? Will I be safe, will I be live for a longer time or not, right? But eventually everything got settled up, like gradually it goes down, slow down, and then we realizes like what we were doing earlier, like we were traveling to office, we are actually spending maybe a 30-35 minutes travel one side, and then another 40 minutes or 45 minutes to come back, right? And during this 8 hours we are spending on office. So if you see closely, you have enough time to show your output, enough time to work. In fact, the additional part is you got enough time to spend time with your family, right? So there is a zero time when you wish to meet your kids, you can go and meet, you can have your home fresh quickly food as well, right? So that self motivation actually worked for me, and I keep on motivating myself to be um, energetic on this case. Definitely what Praveen said, that tummies are the biggest the problem, because nobody is going out from the home. Then I thought to join some yoga classes, and since everything goes on online, one of my friend, she started that yoga classes online, and she offered to join that, and I was pretty happy on this. So I know commanded kind of to home is everybody should attend this yoga classes, and which will eventually make you fit and happy. So that's how I gradually managed it. What I do nowadays, it's quick start, like nobody is looking at you, right? So even if you wake up by 9 and 9:30 is your call, nobody has looked at you, whether you comb your hair, whether you took a bath or not. But though I am taking it, bro. But that's easy for us to join any call, to jump in a call, and get interacted with the team. Yes, what Praveen was said is, the communication was the big challenge in between, because in office, if you are in and you wish to talk to your team members and conduct a meeting, you can do it in a 5 minutes, right? But here, since everybody at home, I know there is a flexibility, and which is a blessings as well. But that flexibility we have to cope up, like if I have to interact with three people, I need to know. So initially, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour ahead, I have to drop a message like we are meeting at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. or stuff. So that's how we started communicating, and now I think everything is on track. We everyone is working the way we were working earlier, everything on the time. So that's it from my side, how I'm working now.
That's good. I think a couple of good points to discuss. The first one is, yeah, working from home does save your time. You don't have to travel, right? I remember traveling almost like 4 hours each side to to get to my office. So yeah, definitely, time saving has done a lot during this working from home, and you can stay close to your family, keeping mind that one has to be fit. Let me go ahead and ask you, Praveen. As you said, you are working as a CEO, right? And as a leader, you have to face daily challenges. You have to take many decisions. So, how has been the situation of an employer and an employee during this pandemic, and what are the challenges one faces in an organization, both before the pandemic and maybe even you can talk about during pandemic?
As far as pandemic is concerned, the biggest challenge is, as I said earlier, uh, the development team which is working from home, they don't face any problem, but uh, the other staff which have joined the office after the lockdown, the biggest challenge was providing safety to them. The biggest problem was providing uh, so that no one gets ill due to this COVID virus, and we have to provide the facilities for that, and they have to be physically report to the office for daily activities. But for that, we have to make sure that everyone stay healthy, and the work will not get affected due to that. And second second biggest problem is the uh, contingency plan. If someone gets ill due to the pandemic, if someone is doing some critical task which is required in the day-to-day basis, and if someone is appointed for that task, and if somehow he gets affected with this COVID, what will happen then? Someone has to be assigned for that task. So we have to plan accordingly for that. If someone gets affected due to the coronavirus or this what is going on right now, we have to be some plan already so that someone can take over that task and the daily day-to-day work doesn't get affected. And the may there is some uncertainty between the employees and the employers during this during this pandemic. One is the biggest uncertainty for this employers is what is the future for the business, how much how long will it last, and for employees what happens to their job, whether they will be terminated from the job, whether there will be pay cut and all that thing. So it is a difficult task for everybody, whether it is employer or employee, but everybody will have to cope up with the situation, and accordingly the organization and as well as the employees have to work accordingly. So hope everything gets well very soon, and we will see a good future for all the organizations and as well as employees for MCN Solutions. As far as
Very well.
and as far as MCN Solutions is concerned, we are very much in shape right now. Nothing nothing to worry. We are we are working from everybody is working from home. Projects are going well. We are in on schedule. Everything is going fine. So nothing to worry about for MCN Solutions.
Yeah, a couple of that's very well said, Praveen, is that taking care of an employee, right? I think we people have been very fortunate that we have these devices and access to these utilities that we can sit at home and do our get our job done. But there are some people who have to physically go at the locations and get things done. It
Yeah,
may be housekeeping staff, it may be the security personnel. So definitely that's a very important point you brought out, that as a leader you have to take decisions, and indeed you have to make sure that they don't get ill, and having a backup too, because if someone gets ill, and of course there's again an uncertainty about both the companies, of how long will they last, will there be some profits, and an individual career perspective, that will their job continue. So very well said, and I'll quickly ask Bhaskar about what are the measures that MCN has taken when it comes to this sanitize. I think that we have done a lot of at the office, right? Would you like to talk about that?
Yes. So, when we got that lockdown and everybody was at home, and the biggest challenge was the only those people, who were actually outside from the office, from the home, because we, right now what we are doing, that job at home. So that's not a big challenge for us. But people who used to come to at office, right? So that was the biggest challenge, as they should not get affected with any problem, and if something would happen, then what would happen. So what we did, we did the complete sanitization at the office, right? So we called one agency, and we said, we need to sanitize each and every part, the single every corner of this office should be sanitized, and this should be good sanitized, like, so that nothing would left remain, though we were, nothing was there, but just to take a measures and the precautions, we took that complete sanitization at office. We are doing it in every month, that full sanitization. And other than this, we have some sanitization dispensing machine. If somebody is going to office, that's the very first task he has to face that sanitization machine, right, dispensing machine. So he or she can be sanitize hands, and the bags, and maybe the machines, whatever he or she wish to be. So these are the measures we have taken care. Other than this, we spoke to our the medical agencies, so that everything should be covered under this the existing policies, although government has mandated that it should be covered under all medical agency schemes, but we did that cross check and make sure that it should be covered. So these are the measures we taken up.
That's really nice that apart from not just doing it once, you have made sure that you do the sanitization of the office regularly. So I think that is something key, that you have taken very care of. So we have been talking about MCN for almost like last 15 or 20 minutes. I think, and I'll go and ask Praveen to all those guys who are watching to go and give a quick introduction about what is MCN Solutions, right? And what do they do? What are the specialities so that everyone who's watching, they can come to know about it.
Good question, Simon. we were talking about MCN Solutions since last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
MC Solutions was founded in 2004. I joined in 2003, but it was in partnership. But we felt the need to register this company and in June 2004. I remember the date, 8 June 2004. We registered our company, and MCN Solutions was founded. We have completed 16 years. 15 years this June. MCN Solutions is basically a custom software development company and offshore service provider. Okay, so basically we are located in Noida, which is near to Delhi, some 30 kilometers from Delhi. So apart from software development, from last 3-4 years, we are into mobile development also, both iOS and Android. We have several clients starting from 2004. We have McGraw Hill, Johnson & Johnson, iFoster, and Co-Construct, and Rexap, Model Q, and of course C# Corner, the biggest client. We have been working. We are the whole C# Corner website is developed in MCN Solutions office. Hope Bhaskar remember, we are the people who started it.
Yeah.
The whole design and development and discussions. This earlier it was a single website, and in I think 2004 or 2005, Bhaskar.
Yes, 2004. So, yes.
We plan to move it to .NET, and in the work started in 2004, and we completed it in almost 6 months or so, and the whole website.
Right.
Okay. So these are some of the clients which we have worked. Some of the mobile apps which we did in the last 3-4 years is one is Home Life, the other one is Simbi, For Your Time, Quacker, Honeydew List. Honeydew List is the latest app. We are still working on it, and that's it. MCN Solutions, we have a small office in Noida, and we plan to grow it much bigger, and Bhaskar will talk about it later.
That looks a really long journey, right? 16 years is like a very mature company, and I just didn't knew that you are the guys who actually started that building the real thing of C# Corner that we see today. So definitely, I think the team is really amazing at MCN Solutions that you guys have been doing. Quickly, I'll ask Bhaskar, as Praveen said, that you work on different technologies, maybe mobile app development, maybe our augmented reality. What specialty it is, and what particular technology basis you deliver to clients?
So, though we do, all those technologies like you said, IoT, mobile device, iOS and Android, and AR, VR, right? And we are specialized in the cloud section as well. But we are primarily focusing on the .NET technology, that are Microsoft technology, right? And other than this, a couple of the front end framework like React and Angular. So we are actually most of the jobs are doing in the Microsoft .NET technology, and I would say, we are still, looking for people like in this technology. So I posted, some of the ads, but I'm still, we are looking for good resources on this. And these are the technologies like, we are doing for now.
So as you said, Bhaskar, that you're still looking for talented people even during this pandemic, right? You are looking to hire the guys. What particularly domain, as you said, definitely it may be for mice, it may be .NET, but what particularly skills or technology guy that you're looking for during this time?
Okay, so that's very simple. Like, we are looking for ASP.NET guy who knows .NET Core, who knows SQL Server. Uh, Even though if he is not expert, at least he or she should know about what is SQL Server, how to write queries. And because I know that there is a learning process, right? And people may get expert as and when they will be doing it. So we are posting our job in C# corner / jobs. This is the the job which has all the job description over there. And other than this, we are also posting these jobs in our LinkedIn profile too. So if somebody is following, or maybe somebody is in connection, they can see what is the job description. So primarily that's a web API we are looking for, 3.2, and .NET frame, ASP.NET, and SQL Server with having C# latest, maybe 8.2 or something. So and you one thing you notice is every time when you see a new job description, it has a long description of it. But when you see my LinkedIn profile, there are only three things we have mentioned it, right? That's a web API, C#, and and the SQL Server. The reason of why people are putting a lot of description or job description is uh, they are not finding 100% suitable candidates, right? But even though 50%, 60%, or 70%, maybe if the skill set is matching with them, they are hiring them. So I would say nobody is perfect, and nobody is going to hire the 100% job description matching guys, right? But that's a way to having it, maybe some part of the area that guy doesn't know, or maybe it's maybe having a less knowledge, but the other part he can be compensated that. So that will work. So these are the area where we are posting our jobs, and people are following there, keep on sending. And still you please share this link with the other guys if anybody is interested, having 2 to 3 years of experiences, who knows ASP.NET Core, web APIs, and SQL Server backend, as in the language we are using, C#, right? They can send their resume to me. So I'm writing my email address. You can just help them to show everyone.
Perfect. Makes sense. There's one question from Amit Singh. He is asking is there any opening for freshers? I mean, this is something that many people would ask that. Are you looking for guys who are freshers and are you hiring interns or anything like that?
Yes, so we are hiring interns too. So our primary focus is not to focus on that area, but still yes, we are looking for interns. So if somebody who is looking for some work experience, and to learn more about it, we are hiring interns. We can take them,
Perfect.
provided
Definitely.
provided that they have some basic knowledge of it, at least what they learn in their engineering, maybe BTech or MCA, that should be well enough known to them.
So if I talk about when I look at this job description that you have shared, right, it says one should be like maybe like 2 or 3 years of experience, and you have mentioned a very new technology that ASP.NET Core, which means that does signify that hey, it's very new in the market, and you're looking only for 2 or 3 years. So this 2 or 3 years is a relevant experience, or you're asking that hey, it's a total 2 or 3 years of experience. Uh, so what does that mean?
That's a good question. And in fact, that 2 or 3 years is relevant. And sometimes, the people who started their career, they actually started career in this technology, right? sometime happens. I'm not talking about in ASP.NET Core, but in general, what happens, like I in my example, when I started my career, it was a .NET Framework 1.2, and before that there was a classic ASP, right? So that ASP.NET, by the way, was written in classic ASP. We converted into the .NET Framework, and we grew up like this. So 2 to 3 years are whenever there is a job description comes up, people should know about, this 2 or 3 years experience is the relevant experience. If somebody has total of 2 through 3 years experience, that will also work. If somebody has 2 to 3 years of experience in relevant technologies, that will also work. But you shouldn't be taking it too much, like you have total 10 years of experience, but you have 2 to 3 years in experience in core, and again you are applying for this. So maybe that will not work in this case, but 1 or 2 years here and there, that works every time.
Definitely makes sense. I mean, if someone has a 3 or 4 years of experience, overall experience, and 2 or 3, or maybe 2 years of experience relevant to this .NET Core, which is very new, still into the market. We have had a couple of amazing live shows about Blazor and Octane and some really cool libraries that .NET Core has brought. So definitely, whosoever is watching, we are looking for some dynamic guys, young guys who want to join the team. Uh, Anyone of you, maybe Praveen or Bhaskar, would like to go ahead and what kind of the projects one would work? What would be the time schedule? Someone is working from home, so it's like someone will have to report 9 at Skype, then 6 till the evening. One has to be online. So since once is working from home, so what is the work behavior? Let me ask this to Praveen. Is it like if I join, I have to be online at 9 o'clock until 6 in the evening?
No, no, not like that. Bhaskar might answer that.
So I will answer you. Maybe that could be a long answer, but I'll tell you. In pandemic, in fact, before even pandemic, we have a flexi hours in, right. But when we say flexi hours, it does not mean that we are not attending calls. So calls is important because everybody is involved in this call. So if some calls are scheduled at 9 or 9:30 or 10, you must have to be there. So doesn't matter, after that you can take a break, you can do other jobs as well, right? This is what I'm talking about, before pandemic. But after pandemic, is again, we are primarily focusing on the common time area, because everybody has to join that call. And if it is a 9 a.m., somebody has to join it. But we are not rigid enough to keep those timings in the flexi hours, right? So 9 a.m., we do it like 10 or 9:30 or something. But the call timings, sometimes we do it morning, sometimes we do it in the evening, right? So the time, if it is suggested to the team, then it is must to be join. And again, if somebody has some issues, maybe they can inform in prior, right? And we do reschedule all those calls. Sometimes the calls are even not happening, though it is not a good practice. But I would say that we are even flexible enough to reschedule those calls, maybe after 1 hour, maybe after 2 hours or something, but keeping in mind that everybody should present on that.
That's great. I think so if someone is flexible. As Praveen just started this life, so that communication is very important while you work from home. So just make sure that you are in sync with the team. You can work at your pace. You can work at night. You can work at daytime. Just make sure the task is completed on the time, and you are in sync with your fellow teammates when you work. My one more quick question to that is, since right now we are working from home, but some people have started moving to offices in some of the locations. So what would be like, will I have to work from home all time for next maybe like 1 year, or maybe in couple of months if I join it, if I join this month, after this pandemic ends, I'll have to move to the office. So how does that thing work?
So um, right now, all the new joinings, we are giving them, we are in fact saying them, you have to work from home, because nobody has to come to office. Situation is worse, right? And when you come out from office home, there is a safety measures you have to take up. So everybody must have to work from home till the situation comes under control, right? But you have to have few things mandate at your home, like you should have at least a system, you should have at least a good internet bandwidth, because that communication is the most important part. Sometimes we do live chat, sometimes we are doing the screen sharing part, because nobody at nearby you, right? Nobody can peer to peer help you over there, so that peer to peer help can be done over the screen sharings, and that requires a lot of bandwidth. I know the lot of people, they are actually having internet which is for the surfing purpose only, right? And they do sometime they don't have any other internet connection other than mobile connection. But this is the very I would say the first necessary requirement to have it, like your system and the internet. So that's it. We are allowing everybody to work from home till this situation comes under control. And when this situation will comes under control, definitely we'll be moving ahead to gradually and partially moving to towards the offices, keeping in mind like that there is a social distancing enough, like. And in our office, in fact, the people who are coming, we have, let's say, uh, 10 sitting area, right? And we are only allowing only 2 or 3 people to go inside over there, though not a lot of people are coming, so it's easily manageable over there.
That's great. So I think as we move ahead, maybe even I think during this pandemic, everyone is at home. As we move ahead, as the unlocks happen, we may be going to offices not all 6 days or 5 days in a week, right? So we may be going a couple of days, then maybe staying back. Half of the team may go. Those are the things that will fall in place as we proceed. We are almost at the time to close this live show. We have almost 40-45 minutes, right? I'll quickly go ahead and ask. Each one of you to give. I mean, you guys are really experienced, right? You're very seniors, guys. We really appreciate for that time you have given. Is one tip that you would like to give on whosoever will be applying, or maybe a career tip on whosoever is watching, starting from Praveen sir, like the senior most guy.
uh, I have to mention only one thing. Never lie or exaggerate anything in your resume. I remember one interview which I took way back in 2005 or 6 in our office in Noida. One girl came to our office for an interview, and she mentioned one project in her resume which MCN Solutions was doing, and that was the
Not a
case.
good thing. She wasn't lucky.
Yeah. So my one thing whoever is looking for a job, never lie or exaggerate anything in your resume. The thing which that girl did, she never know that she's visiting the same office where in, the project which she has written. So that's it. One major thing is never lie or exaggerate anything in your resume.
Yeah, this is something that very people would do, and often like copy paste would happen. Like, what's your aim and objective? Google it, copy it, and just paste it. And if you're just working on the project, you find some really fancy English words and you just put it on your resume that this is the project that I work. So be very much descriptive to what you have done. What are the roles? Even if you write about the project, just do mention what exactly role you had it. That if you're doing a testing, you just cannot tell that I was working on the deployment part, or maybe the other part, right? So be very much descriptive, even if you write about any of the projects that you're doing. That's a
What
very good point. Yeah.
one thing I have seen in resumes, even they have done some part of the project, like if they have done some HTML or CSS part or JavaScript part, they have mentioned everything in their resume, like they have done projects from SQL Server to C# to everything. So be specific. If you have done some particular part in a project, everybody can't do the whole project. everybody will not have the whole knowledge. If somebody has done the JavaScript part or CSS part or HTML part, mention that. Don't want to mention everything in your project.
Yeah, I think that is very important. Just mention what was your responsibility in that project. I mean, if you have done 3 to 4 projects in a year, that I think that's a very good part. That hey, you have worked on 3 to 4 projects, and those were the responsibilities. So very good feedback coming from Praveen. Bhaskar, will move to you, and what are your tips, and then we'll wrap the session.
Sure, but I think that's the area where I can share my experience, because uh, the people who are going ahead in their career, how and what they should be doing in, at least in the resume part, right? So first of all, before even moving to resume, set up your mind, right? Set up your goal, what you need to be done. I mean, what you're liking it, where which direction you would like to go, right? Once you set up this mind, then accordingly you prepare your resume. Sometimes the people who are actually looking for the management role, sometimes they are more into the technical stuff. Sometimes it's a kind of techno manager, right? So be specific on that part, and then you start writing your resume, and you will get a lot of different templates. But again, you should be focused on what you want to do, right? So your objective should be crisp on your resume. I see a lot of resumes which has 8, 10, and 11 and 12 pages. I mean, nobody reads it, right? So it takes me to whole another 30 or 40 minutes to read all those projects. Nobody really cares about what all projects you have done so far, but they cares about what all technologies you have. So the key points which I will say, that when you are starting your resume, that objective should be clear on the very first step, right? And if you can mention your experience and skill set on the very first fold of your resume, that will make an impact of you, right? So if you say that I have a 4+ years of experience keeping ASP.NET Core, Web API, SQL Server, C Sharp 8.0, or maybe some part of Angular of this is so. What I actually want from that guy, I am actually reading from the very first page, right? Then I will moving ahead, keep on scrolling to the other page. And my suggestion is to that resume should not be more than two, or max to max three is, even though I don't recommend that three, but if it is not fitting your all those stuff, somehow you can move to the three, but it should not be um, bigger than this. And when you are writing your resume, again, that you should not be putting all the junks over there. That less is more, right? So when you will be precisely writing your steps over there, that will be good. But a couple of more points which people may follow it, right? If you want to grow in your path in career, maybe some kind of certification you can do, that will be add on to your resume. Highlight those certifications on the top of, on the first fold of your resume. That works, because when I'm reading all those skill set, right? I don't know, how expert he would be, but if some certification is there, right? I would know, okay, at least that guy knows up to this mark, right? I know that certifications, some people are just reading it and doing it. They can be, pass that exam very quickly. Maybe the half of that knowledge, imparted by to on them, right? But at least if somebody is writing AZ 900 certification I have done, I know that, okay, this guy is very much familiar with Azure basics. So that helps us. So your resume should be crisp and clear. And once you are done with your resume, just spread across your network. LinkedIn is one of the good platform. In fact, I said, we are looking the candidates over there only, because we have a lot of connections, right? So that spread, don't hesitate to spread your resume to any of your friends and the circles that you can do it. That's it. I think these will be the good points to have the good one.
That's an amazing content I think that we have covered in this entire last 45, 50 minutes. Some of the very good points coming from you guys is to not exaggerate in your resume. Make sure you write only what you know, mention about the roles that you have done in the project. Don't make it very too long. And if you have done certification, just do mention it and be very specific to your skills, and don't just go around and copy paste. So thank you so much, Praveen and Bhaskar. You have been very nice, and thank you so much for giving your time. I, Stephen Simon, on behalf of entire C Sharp Corner community, the platform that is made by you both initially and your team, would like to thank you for your valuable time and the contribution that you have made to the community. Definitely to all the guys who are watching this show today, we have all the details about where to apply, the LinkedIn profile, the emails. We need guys with 2 or 3 years of experience who come from .NET Core, Web APIs, and SQL Server. Pretty exciting team. We have guys, clients working with us from across the globe. So we are looking for young and talented guys to join our team. That's all in this live show that we have. And thank you everyone who has joined us today. And we will see everyone in the next show. Thank you, Praveen, and thank you, Bhaskar. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, Simon.
Simon. Thank you for hosting us. Thank
Bye.
you.